what do my Chevy, my tent, my kayak, and the University of Michigan all have in common? Christopher Paul Curtis. Christopher Paul Curtis is a children's author from Flint, Michigan. When Mr. Curtis graduated high school, he immediately joined the team at General Motors. General Motors is a car company near Flint where he grew up, and he was tasked with putting car doors on Chevys. He was very bored because he was a very, very smart man, and he decided to pass the time at work by reading and also writing. He loved writing so much that his wife encouraged him to take a year off of work and to write full time. Mr. Curtis would go to the local library and he wrote every single day for a year. During that year, he wrote his first novel, The Watsons Go to Birmingham. The Watsons Go to Birmingham was a book that he wrote at the library, and he submitted it to a contest that was being held by Random House. He didn't win the contest, but he did end up winning a Newbery Medal and the Coretta Scott King Award for this book. In this book, the Watsons travel from Flint, Michigan to Birmingham, Alabama, where they come face to face with the civil rights movement, including the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing. Kenny is the main character in the book, and he's 10 years old, and he's trying to find his place in his family and in the civil rights movement. Another one of Christopher Paul Curtis's famous book is Bud Not Buddy. This is also a Newbery Medal winner and the Coretta Scott King Honor Book. In this book, Bud is 10 years old and he is on the run. He's trying to find his dad after his mom dies and only leaves him a few clues to find his dad. Nothing can stop him. Not hunger, not fear, not even vampires. In Elijah of Buxton, Elijah is the main character in this story. This is also a Newbery Medal winner and a Coretta Scott King Honor Book. Elijah is the first child who's born into freedom on a settlement in Canada. This settlement was founded by freed slaves. Elijah is known for famously throwing up on Frederick Douglass when he comes to visit the settlement. In the book, Elijah must go on a dangerous journey to the United States to find a thief that stole from his family. He sees horrible things, and he's reminded of what his parents had to escape in order to live safely in Canada. The Madmen of Piney Woods is the second of the Buxton novels. This happens 40 years after the first book. Benji and Red are the two narrators in this book, and their lives become intertwined through the mysteries in Piney Woods. In Bucking the Sarge, Luther is our main character. He is brilliant, and he enters the science fair in order to show off for the girl that he likes, Shayla. Shayla's mom is really mean, and she just so happens to own the group home that Luther lives in. Sarge is Shayla's mom, and Sarge tries to keep him down. She tries to keep Luther in what she considers his place to be, but he's not having it, and you'll have to read to find out what happens. In the Mr. Chickies novels, we have Mr. Chickies' Messy Mission and Mr. Chickies' Funny Money. In these novels, our main characters are the Flint Future Detectives. It's 4 children who go around solving mysteries. If you like mysteries, these books are for you. In the journey of little Charlie, Charlie is 12 years old. Captain Buck is going to kill his family. So, Charlie bravely strikes a deal with Captain Buck. Captain Buck says, if you go and collect all the money from the people who owe me money, I will not kill your family. On this journey, Charlie is constantly questioning if he is going to help Captain Buck, who's a really bad man, or if he is going to, so if he's going to do what's right, or if he's going to survive. That's a hard decision. Also in this, there's a lot of adventures in a canoe, so that's why I have my kayak here. He wrote this book, The Mighty Miss Malone, because one of his favorite things about his job is getting to go to schools and talk to kids about his books. Every time he would go to the schools, young girls would come up to him and say, "Why are all of your characters these boys? We want to read a story about girls, people like us." So he wrote The Mighty Miss Malone for all of his fans who are girls. Deza is the smartest girl in her class. However, after her family comes upon hard times, she's forced to move to a Hooverville where she lives in a tent. After her family moves into the Hooverville, her dad disappears. Her mom and her have to search for him to keep their family together. As you can see, a lot of these books are from lots of different time periods. We have books that happen in the present day. We have books that took place during the Great Depression, like The Mighty Miss Malone. We have a lot that take place back in the 1800s during the Civil Rights era. One of Christopher Paul Curtis's favorite things to do is to research. He loves to go to the library to research all of his books. And though there's a lot of really good lessons and a lot of really great historical facts in his book, he never wants them to solely be history lessons. What he wants children to do is to become so attached to the characters that when the characters experience hardships, when the characters experience all of these different things in their lives that took place during the Civil Rights Movement that are still taking place today, he wants them to feel like those things are happening to their friends, the characters. And he said through that, that's how children are really going to learn. So he is a fascinating author. I loved learning about him. I love so many of his books, and I hope that you check them out and that you enjoy them too.